What's up, everybody? Welcome into my first video. Today is going to be the first ever YouTube video that I've ever posted in my whole life. So wish me luck on this. I don't know how well this is going to go, but we shall see. I have a couple things that I want to talk about today. I'm going to go over my main base, the base that I have where I keep all my animals. We have an oil base, a farm base, an acid base, as well as a thermal tower too that we've upgraded quite a bit. I kind of just wanted to go over all of that with you guys and show you how we set everything up and how everything works. So if you guys have any interest in getting this game yourself, or if you're already playing the game and you really want to set these things up, you'll kind of get an idea of how we do it. Let's start with the main base. As we walk in here, you can see that we have all of our supply and gear and workbenches all set up. We have our synthesis bench as well as a disassembler. In this room we have a little sit-down area, our designer workstation, as well as a kitchen. And then we make our way up to the next floor. We have a bunch of storage containers in here. We have a wish machine and a little fish tank set up. And then on this floor, we have a bedroom, as well as a little PC. And we have all of our deviations over in this room here. So all these deviations have different specifications that they have. This one really likes red light, music, and electricity. This one likes red light, low temperature, and electricity, so he needs a red light, actually. Put that in later. And then you come upstairs, and it's the same thing. They're all just set up to be happy and healthy, doing the best that they can. One thing that's really important with the deviations is their skill level. So you can see, this one's only a 2-2. It's not the greatest, but it's not the worst either. But yeah, that's basically our main base, so there's not much to go over with that. We have a garage set up here, as well as electricity for the base. And as you can see here, I set up some zip lines to go from territory to territory. In this territory over here is our oil base. So here you can see we have our water pumps set up. Those guys are extracting crude oil from the ground because of our thermal tower. And that crude oil is coming over into these refineries, and it's creating portable mixed fuel. These tar puddings here as well, these guys are all going to be trying to find portable mixed fuel around our property too. And then once we get all of that portable mixed fuel, we take it and smelt it with stardust ore, and that creates stardust source. And stardust source is used as a kind of currency in this game. Yeah, that's basically it for the oil farm. It's pretty simple. And the next farm that I wanted to show you guys is our animal farm. This one's pretty simple. The only thing you have to worry about with these animals is the tameness level that they have. If you go up to 1, you can press F on them, and you can check their stats. See, all of the tameness for these animals are doing pretty well. Only one of them is pretty low, and that I think is the newest one that we've gotten. For them, you're going to want to make sure you set up a trough, throw some feed in it, as well as a youngling hut, so if they want to breed, they have somewhere to do it. And that one's pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. They're just animals. They give you little perks as their tameness goes up. Nothing too huge. And while we're here, why don't we make a stop at our thermal tower? As you can see, our thermal tower is level 23. It says it up at the top there. If you go into it here, it's going to pull you into the technology tab. When you first place this thing down, you're not going to have all 4 of these subcategories unlocked. You're going to have to work your way towards that. And because we're already at a level 23, we do have everything opened. So what I would suggest is at the beginning of phase 2, as soon as you can get this guy put him down and start working on it. You're going to want to find a good spot on the map where you can place it. For us, I'll scroll out a little bit so you guys can see what I'm talking about. We're in Ember Strand. Over here, where I'm standing, is the thermal tower, and then we have all of our bases surrounding it. we can have, since we're at thermal tower level 2, we can have up to 24 territories surrounding this thermal tower and getting buffs. So later on in the game, we're going to want to have other people move towards us so they can also benefit from where we live as well. Another good spot to place your thermal tower is right over here. This area here is nice and big and open. You can place your thermal tower like right in the center and be well off. And this is also another spot too that's good for thermal towers. You can put that thermal tower right in the middle and have everybody build around it. And if you want one of these spots and it's taken in whatever world you're in, just go up to this teleportation tower here, switch worlds, see if you can find a spot there. More than likely there will be a spot for you if you're doing it early in phase 2. So if you go into the thermal tower, here you're going to see 4 subsections. All of these subsections are going to have different tasks and materials that you need to collect to complete those tasks. And once you get those materials for the task, you're just going to want to click the depot tab, make sure those items are in your inventory. You're going to drag them and throw them into the depot. When you first set one of these up, not all 4 of these categories are going to be here. You have to work your way up to this point. So this manage tab is pretty much going to be meaning literally nothing to you at the beginning. Quite literally nothing. Until this chaosium waste gets to at least 80%, you can't do anything with this tab. Eventually you're going to get to the point where you are at thermal tower range number 2. That's when you get the 24 territories that can be covered. It expands the space of this thing working by an incredible amount. You can also use the thermal tower to change the temperature in your area. So right now it's at 0 degrees Celsius, and because I just switched that, we have a minute cooldown. But I can switch it from anywhere to 30 degrees plus or 30 degrees minus. So if I'm in a really hot area, I can put it down here. If I'm in a really cold area, I can put it up here. And once you turn that on, it's going to tell you how much chaosium it's going to cost in order to sustain that temperature difference. And it'll be different depending on whichever one you select. And at some point too, I am going to make a video on purifying the territory as well. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, that's pretty much it on the thermal tower. All you really need to know is that these guys are basically tasks. You want to work towards getting enough of this in your inventory to depot it in. And then once they've filled up, you just, you'll be able to select start. And then the time that is listed up top is however long it's going to take for that to complete. So these guys over here, they only cost 5 minutes, or they only take 5 minutes and cost this much. These guys over here, they cost this much and take this much time. They're all going to be different. They're all going to have different costs. These ones take 4 hours. This is what some of them cost. They're pretty expensive, so it's going to take you a long time. And these ones are the ones that take the most time and they cost the most. They take 12 hours to finish, and those materials are pretty hefty. That's a lot. It's a lot of each thing. But you'll get there eventually. You just want to keep working at it, and the higher that gets, the better it is for you in phase 4. In phase 4, the end of Ice and Fire, when you're in the Way of Winter scenario, you end up getting an additional reward at this point, depending on how many people have thermal towers set up. And right now it looks like there's 35 of them. So that's pretty good for us right now. We definitely want that number to go up more, but there's only so much we can do until we hit level 24. And a last little tidbit on the thermal tower is this thermal tower is going to be its own territory. So you cannot place it on your territory. You have to place it outside of your territory, but it will affect your territory as long as your territory is within the range of the thermal tower. So make sure you're putting your buildings up within range of your thermal tower at whatever level it's at. The first time you place it down, it's only going to be able to do 8 territories, and that is completely fine. You'll work your way up to the 24. It doesn't have to be 24, really. It just gives you more perks. And then over here, we're going to make our way over to our farm base. We have our water set up here. That's pumping dirty water out of the ground and into this water purifier. This water purifier then takes that water and brings it into here. And this is where we have all of our water accumulating. That water is then sucked up in from the sprinklers and distributed all throughout the farm. And as you can see, if I go above, you can take a look at, if I go above, you can see that our irrigation is hitting every single one of those plant boxes, and that's what you want. So how we set it up was we put the sprinkler in the center, and then you surround the sprinkler by planter boxes, and you just go out around in a circle pretty much. And then you want to make sure your grow light is directly above that sprinkler. And then after that's all set up, you can start planting, and you just take a look at what irrigation and lighting it likes, and you set your sprinkler and your light to that. It's as simple as that. And over here you can see, oh, I'm stuck. Over here you can see we have a bunch of busy bees going to town on all of our plants. We decided to go farm a bunch of them so they could benefit our farm even more. They're just making it so our things produce quickly, how much yield we get from each plant as well. They're just a perk on our farm, essentially. And that all is powered too by a couple of generators that I have in here. We have 2 generators in there. Everything's hooked up to that. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple for the farm base. If you're going to start with any base, I would definitely suggest a farm base. The farm base is the easiest to set up. You can set it up in essentially any location. You can set it up from phase 1. The only thing is, in phase 1, you won't have access to those planter boxes or the grow lights. So really it's not worth doing it until phase 2. But you can start getting the materials you're going to need for everything prior to phase 2. So when phase 2 comes around, you're ready. And if we make our way over here, this is going to be our oil base. So as you can see here, we have all of our deviations for this farm. We have a bunch of electric eels. We have a bunch of Digby boys, just because we don't really have anywhere else for them to go. And we also have these hydronaut fish too. They just put in some work on the water filters and make sure everything's running smoothly. So all those generators are hooked up to all 24 of these water pumps. These water pumps then suck out a little extra barreled crude oil, which is good because we have oil on our land. But a majority of the work that it's going to be doing is pulling out this polluted water. And this polluted water is very important for us because it creates impure acid once it's been filtered through this pump. And that impure acid is going to make its way down here. As you can see, we only have 155 right now, which isn't terrible. So we're going to take that acid that purifier has created, and we're going to throw it into a brewing barrel. And this brewing barrel is slowly going to accumulate acid over time. And that's an easy way to get passive acid. So you don't have to constantly go out fighting deviants for it, eating those deviated pork chops. You can just create one of these farms and you'll have a constant supply of acid. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the video. If you liked what you saw, feel free to drop a like, a comment, subscribe, follow my account, whatever you feel the need to do. If you'd like to see more of my content, I do have a TikTok account as well as a Twitch account and a Kick account that I do stream on very, very frequently. I am working my way towards getting streaming on TikTok, so be patient with that. Hopefully that'll come soon. But I do appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so, so much for your continued support. And if you'd like to see more of my content, I will be dropping videos on here pretty frequently. So yeah, I think that's about it for today, folks. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you guys around soon.